Alright, so I want to talk a little bit about how me, an autistic person, sees neurotypical people. I want to kind of make it short, and in a nutshell, I kind of see them as irrational and overconfident. So it could sound like I'm talking down to them, which maybe I am, but hey, I'm going to get them back somehow. But really, these are just things I've felt. I have felt these things way before I got diagnosed with autism. I just thought people were this way in general, and I'm part of that. And this is part of the confusion. Feeling like you come to your conclusions based off logic, reason, facts, arguments, and other people come to these conclusions, are so confident in what they're saying, yet you start to question how they got there. They don't know. They don't know the first thing about how they got there. And it's just like, oh God, am I just convincing myself that I understand where I'm at? And am I the same as everyone else? Maybe to some degree, but at the end of the day, I'm comfortable saying that I think things out in more detail than most neurotypicals, and same with most autistic people, and the research is starting to reflect this. In fact, after getting diagnosed, I kind of just solidified how I felt about people, and really, it's just basic psychology. A lot of neurotypicals don't use their rational brain and do a lot of the heavy lifting with the emotional side, the system one thought process. And with this comes the overconfidence and the irrational sort of stances a lot of people take. Now, I kind of alluded to the fact that people come to stances not based off logic and reason, which is very perplexing to me. Like, you could say Dunning-Kruger, but there's been a lot of critiques of Dunning-Kruger in the last 20 years, and basically it might not be a thing. I can go into more detail about that another time, but yeah, there's just, to me, I see that I know a lot about this area and not a lot about this area. And the argument goes, you don't know enough to know you don't know anything. It's like, no, I know a lot about this other thing and know more than a handful of facts, knowing that I know something there, where I know two things here. And so, I don't know the details of this or that. And I've said that before to people. I don't know enough about this. I start off there, and other people I see are making claims about stuff confidently, and they know less than me about the thing I say I don't know anything about. And I don't get it. How do you feel like you know what you're talking about when you don't? Oh, it's just a different state of mind. It's just a different state of mind. Having that subconscious kind of dictate your thought process makes it so you don't even realize that the ideas you have aren't really originating in what you would call you, the rational mind. So, of course it's going to seem irrational, because it is. It's feeling-based. The feeling's based off maybe they're not comfortable with this idea, and so they want to deny it. Or maybe they have another feeling or belief that's already been implanted that is just at odds with this new idea, so they're not going to consider it. Or maybe they want to belong to a group, and so they're going to adopt the sort of mindset of the group. Maybe they just feel a certain way about you. They don't like your body language, your shoulders too straight when you're sitting there. That's going to wear on them, annoy them over time, and they're going to treat you in a way that's just not fair if you're autistic. This last one's something that I've experienced, where I feel like I'm just trying to stick to myself because I don't want to annoy anyone, and it ends up annoying people. Really, it's because we're not the same. As easy as that. As easy as that. But at the end of the day, it's just so irrational to think that if you can't talk at any length about this thing, why is it that you believe it to such a strong degree? I think there's some overconfidence here. In fact, there's a lot of research in people's overconfidence. Like, I've seen it so many times where just somebody has no idea what they're talking about, and they seem to be the most confident. It's so strange. It's just so strange in my mind. So, I've experienced this in many ways, not just with like politics or something like that. See, when I come to a conclusion, I can argue it. I can kind of get there to some degree, and maybe I don't know all the facts. That's the thing, I don't know all the facts. I've been convinced I'm wrong, or at least somebody else's perspective is better than mine, and I'm able to adopt that perspective. which is it just makes sense to me. It just makes sense to me. But it's like, so I'm able to do that despite the fact that I put effort into coming to my conclusion. So many people don't even put effort into whatever their stance is, and they won't budge. They think they're right. They think they're so right, and you're just stupid for not thinking their way. That's how a lot of people they default to that. You don't think like me? Oh, you must be stupid. Do they ever think that they might be the stupid ones? No, there's an overconfidence. A big overconfidence. And really, I shouldn't say stupid, because I think everybody has more of an ability to think about things. It's just, we don't. That's all there is to it, we don't. But basically, it's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating to deal with most people, because it's like, I mean, this is largely why when I go places, I kind of like to stick to myself. I would rather be a lone wolf because, well, I'm gonna just piss you off not agreeing with you, and you're gonna piss me off because you don't even know what you're talking about, and you're getting mad at me for not agreeing with what you just think based off an emotional thing. So it's just a lot. I used to always just, like, when I was around like 7 or 8, I really just started to look at people as, you can't see past yourself. It was really early on where it was just apparent that when people have conflicting ideas, there's just a fight. There's no sort of, I'm going to try to see your perspective and understand you. And it goes deeper and more visceral than this. I've just known of kids who, when they have a snack, they're not going to share it with you. It's their snack. That's for them to enjoy. Your enjoyment of their snack is just, it's abstract. It doesn't help them. They're only going to be able to understand what they're going to experience directly. So that wouldn't be an issue if they didn't ask me for my food when I had food, which would happen. It's just strange to me, because, like, I would give people food because they asked me. Oh yeah, you're my friend. I'm okay with you having some of my breadstick, and usually I would split it right in half. Half for me, half for you. They are not going to repay the favor when it's their turn to give to you. And I just kind of sat there like, huh? Like, don't you realize I did this for you last time, and now you're not going to do it for me? It's like, oh, they can't see past themselves. That's all. That's all. They see you giving them a breadstick, and they enjoyed it. And that's all they know. I got enjoyment out of this. They're not going to get that enjoyment if they give you the breadstick. They want to just enjoy the whole breadstick. And that's just one example, but, oh my god, it just goes on everywhere. It goes on everywhere. I think that it's kind of a epidemic of main character syndrome going on in the world. I think to some degree it's just people defaulting to their conclusions and not ever really thinking about anybody else's perspectives. So maybe this is some selfishness, but I think these are more so emotional responses than anything. And I think that being kind of at least emotional with where you end up in your stances can result in you being overconfident, because you never think about things, you never question things. Things are just, they are what they are. And vice versa. If you're overconfident, you're less likely to question yourself. So I think that everybody can become a better person if they start to get away from these things. So I kind of just did talk down about neurotypicals, but it's happened a lot to me for a lot of things that I can't control. Like, I'm awkward. I might throw the vibe off if there's somebody there I can't really click with, and I got to deal with that. I got to deal with that, and I know it's a thing. I just don't see other people being able to kind of like pick at themselves and see where they might have something to gain. So I just think in a lot of ways being an autistic person does give you a lot of advantages, which are admirable. They're maybe hard to live with, but who wants to be an overconfident, over-emotional, illogical, self-centered main character? I don't think anyone. So I just really kind of formed that picture of people in general. And really, when it comes down to it, I think that it's not completely off. At least. I think that a lot of people just need to think more. Need to think more and question themselves more. Is that so much to ask?